So yesterday, 6:30 p.m., they held a vigil for little Mason. And this is a really, really sad story. It's actually kind of crazy, but there's not a whole lot of detail, so it's not going to take me long. Basically, I'm just going to read you an article that explains everything that we know so far. But this is the thing, and looks like a beautiful get together of people here doing something really nice for Mason. But guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is something that I've done on my channel so many times where irresponsible YouTubers who cover cases, whether they be missing person cases or whether they be unaliving cases, anything of that nature, I always see these people spreading misinformation, and it's like I gotta have a mop and come clean up after them. So basically, as long as Bullhorn Boob is covering a case, I'm going to cover the same case to try to bring a mop behind her and make sure that at least try to put some control on the misinformation. And yeah, we're going to go over. So this is going to be pretty sad at first, but we're going to end up having some fun. We'll have some redemption, folks. All right, so all right, so this is an article from Channel 8 in Las Vegas. It's a CBS conglomerate. So I'll just go ahead and read the article here. So a candlelight vigil and walk will be held Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. in the neighborhood near Lamb and Cary after a 4-year-old child's remains were found in the freezer on Tuesday. The boy has been identified as Mason Dominguez and was found deceased in Brandon Toslin's home. Toslin, 35, was arrested Tuesday after police discovered the child's body in a freezer in a garage at home on Saddlebrook Park Drive in Northeast Las Vegas neighborhood. Dominguez is one of Toslin's girlfriend's children. The woman told Metro Police she had not seen the child since December 11th, 2021. So it's been like 3 months. And she feared that he might be dead. Police were alerted to the home. Now, listen to this. This is crazy, guys. So the police were alerted to the home after being contacted by Clark County School District Police when an elementary school child brought a note to her teacher that her mother was being held against her will and did not know what happened to her son. When police searched the home, the child's body was found in the freezer. On Wednesday evening, neighbors came together to honor Mason's life by laying out candles and flowers near his home. Investigators tell 8 News Now that they will not know the young boy's official cause of death until an autopsy is conducted in the next few days. Toslin is currently facing kidnapping charges and is expected back in court on Monday, February 28th. So now I want to be clear. Let's make something clear. He has not been charged with murder yet. It doesn't seem like it. It seems like he's only been charged with kidnapping so far, which means that they're probably busy collecting evidence. But this dude, okay. Another detail is when the police were notified by the school, they decided to put surveillance on that house. And then they ended up just going in, I guess, with a warrant. I would imagine so. And when they searched his car, it's consistent with his girlfriend's story, Mason's mom's story, that that he would handcuff her. Because a lot of people right now are probably wondering, like, well, if he's been missing since December, why didn't she contact the police? Why didn't she report him missing? Perfectly valid question. Her reason for that, allegedly, is that he held her against her will. He took her phone away. Basically, what happened was there was an accident. There was an accident, supposedly, and he, after the accident, I guess the kid fell, Mason fell, and then he was locked into a room by the dad, and then he died in the room, supposedly. Now, the thing about that is, if that's what happened and she asked what happened, and then what his story was to her was that he died, he got sick and he died, and then she and then he took her phone away and held her against her will, and when he would take her places, he would handcuff her to the seat of the car. So this was the story that she gave the police, and then when they searched his car, they found handcuffs chained to the seat. So, and some of you are probably asking, okay, well, where's Mason's dad? Because this is the mom's boyfriend that's under arrest. And you might be asking, where's Mason's dad? Mason's dad died in December of 2020, or November of 2020. I'm sorry. It was just before Thanksgiving. He actually got sick and died from complications of pneumonia at age 29. So, so this woman, who knows what she's been through, and the police have said that they do not believe her to be involved in any of this in any way. They tend to believe her story. So right now that they've got this guy under arrest tells me that they've got enough evidence, that they're confident they have enough evidence to put the guy away, at least for the kidnapping charges, while they investigate the murder. They don't have a cause of death yet. You know, I mean, they could. Why he's not charged with, unlawful storage of a body or something like that? Why he's not charged with something like that? I mean, it is his freezer, and what he did was he put like a fake bottom of cardboard and then put food on top of that. And Mason was under the fake bottom. So I don't know what happened to Mason. None of us know what happened to Mason yet because an autopsy hasn't been done yet. But if the police believe this woman right now, then that is enough for me. Now we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to bullshit Betty here, because this is just this is just a gem. This is just a gem.
YouTube ads beat Facebook ads every time. Let's face it, Facebook ad cost.
Shut up. All right. So basically, those are all the facts of the case that are relevant to the case at all that we're aware of. Okay. So I just want to be very clear about that. We don't have a lot. But I just want to be clear about that. All right. Here we go. All right. Brace yourselves, guys, because I had to listen to this earlier and I was like, oh, God.
That is true. That is true. That is true. But you know what? I'm still going to be a smart aleck about it because, you know, there are so many sympathizers out there that, you know, if I would have did a fact-finding mission, if this child was missing and I did a fact-finding mission and found out this man was guilty and he was walking around.
You've never done any type of fact-finding at all. Like what you're trying to do on those missions, I don't know, but they're not fact-finding missions in the slightest bit because you literally produce no facts.
And I chose to apply pressure lawfully, you know, coordinating with law enforcement to do a protest under the First Amendment. I would have been crucified yet again. People screaming that this man is innocent until proven guilty. And we would actually have people trying to campaign for finances for this man.
She's making shit up now. Okay. Because what she's doing right now is she's trying to compare this piece of shit with all this evidence against him, who is in custody. She's trying to compare him to Don Wells. Now, is Don Wells in jail right now? Yes, but he's in jail in a completely unrelated reasons to Summerwell's disappearance. Completely unrelated reasons. He's in jail for a DUI and violating his probation. Simple. That's it. That does not mean that this man had anything to do with his child disappearing. And that does not mean that this man, this lady does something to my brain that I can't even describe it. Like it's like a sharp pain, but it's not a headache. It's just it's like it goes all the way down to my spine because, like, yeah, Ellie Belly, she's definitely under the impression that she, you know what I mean? That these people are like dumb. I mean, but they have to be. I mean, if they're giving her money and they're sitting in her chat and they're going, go ahead, Betty. Like, oh God, that video was fantastic. Heels in the air. Yeah. So she, yeah. And another live, she just went off on about how that myth of we only use 10% of our brains. She goes on this whole tangent about it because she's so fucking smart.
So don't get mad. Go fill up this man's Cash App. He's innocent.
So, yes, we say innocent until proven guilty. And yes, this man is innocent until proven guilty, technically, in a court of law. Absolutely, in a court of law. Okay? I'm saying that we have enough information that of some of the evidence that the police have on this guy, and that's what we're talking about. Now, like, we know, because if the defense can create doubt, then that's what it is, and the guy could get off scot-free, and we don't get to, you know, I mean, we can get mad about it, sure, but you know, that's how the law works. There's nothing we can really do about it, you know. So there's no sense in like rallying yourself up too much. I mean, obviously we're going to have feelings about it if a guy with that much evidence against him that we're even aware of beats this in court, you know. But hopefully he pleads guilty, doesn't put anybody through a trial. This poor woman, based on what she's already gone through, I can't imagine her having to deal with a trial and go through a trial. But dude, apples and oranges. You cannot compare Don Wells to this. And yes, I totally sent him I totally sent him commissary money basically to spite her, to get that reaction from her. Basically. You know what I mean? Like, and also obviously for the reasons that, you know, these people put her or put this man through so much. I mean, they showed up, got the man fired from his job, showed up in front of his house, screaming through a bullhorn, making these crazy signs with these crazy accusations, yelling these horrible, horrible things about this child's and her family. Like, and then calls herself an advocate for victims. It's just so funny to me. And she's always talking about, you know, we love the cops and we back the blue. We back the blue. Dude, you don't do anything that would remotely even be related to backing the blue. You don't do anything. You do everything they don't want you to do. Everything that they ask you not to do as a YouTuber, you do. Like, it's ridiculous.
Until proven guilty. So that is my smart aleck comments this morning. That is the title of this segment.
Now you can tell that she rehearsed this shit. She fucking stood in front of a mirror with sass. She thought of this and was like, I can't wait to say this on my live. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you can tell. That's my sarcasm. That's my smart aleck remark that I had ready for you guys.
Segment. That is truly how I feel. It's despicable of some people out there, you know, with the bleeding hearts for these perpetrators of such horrific crimes to children. And, you know, we do expose that conduct. Do we call people out? No. And just to go to dovetail into something
we
else,
do.
For those that are here on the channel, we do not discuss other YouTubers here. And we also do not advocate for the harassment of other YouTubers or the doxing.
Okay. Stop. Your lying ass. Stop. Like, we're talking about somebody who literally doxes and harasses
other YouTubers on this channel. I want to make sure that that's very clear to all those that are here. Obviously, that has been a problem on here, YouTube in general. And, you know, I think some people get this comfort level of making money for doing some horrible acts. We do not advocate for that here on the Bullhorn Betty channel.
Wait, I got to play that shit one more time because I can't believe my fucking ears.
Do we call people out? No. And just to go to dovetail into something else, for those that are here on the channel, we do not discuss other YouTubers here.
No.
And we also do not advocate for the harassment of other YouTubers or the doxing of other YouTubers on this channel. I want to make sure that that's...
So by not advocating, you actually mean getting JLR to do it for you. That's what you mean, right? Like, you just redefined what not advocating means. So no, I don't advocate doxing or harassment. I just fucking do the harassment and I get JLR to do exactly the same shit that he got locked up for me.
Very clear to all those that are here. Obviously, that has been a problem on here, YouTube in general. And, you know, I think some people get this comfort level of
I'm really
making money.
I'm very comfortable
for doing some horrible acts. We do
Horrible
not
acts.
advocate for that here on the Bullhorn Betty channel.
So what is it? What is a horrible act? Calling out someone who engages in horrible acts? Like, I'm just curious. Is that a horrible act? Is calling out somebody who engages in horrible acts? We by showing the footage of you engaging in these horrible acts on video that you filmed yourself and put out on the internet? Is that a horrible act? Okay.
I just want to make sure that I do put that out there. Many of you know through the grapevine that there was some legal action. We cannot discuss that here. We're not going to be discussing that in the future, nor are we going to be.
Now, I think we all know what she's talking about there. But yeah, see, but the thing is, Betty, what you did was you woke up a sleeping giant, is what you did. D. Marie, thank you. No, I endorse your channel because you speak the truth. She needs to correct herself. Exactly. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. I know, Road King. I feel self-conscious about it every time I say it. Rural. Is it just rural or rural? I don't know. I don't know how to say that word. It's a weird word. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. Yeah, I mean, that's all she did. She woke up a sleeping giant of a bunch of people whose content basically consists of dragging people like her. That's what they do. It's just what they do, which I think is really, really, really ironic in a hilarious way. I absolutely love it.
Allowing anybody in here to disparage other people that are on YouTube, period. So I just want to make sure that disclaimer is made on this channel. This is going to be a drama-free zone. As many of you know, we have tried our...
All right. Drink a game. Take a shot every time you hear her say drama-free zone.
Hardest to make this a drama-free zone. So with that being said, you know, there is a difference between First Amendment and harassment.
Oh,
and
is there?
Make sure that that's clear for the audience here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for so much, Blowhard, for letting us all know with your infinite wisdom that there is a difference between the First Amendment and harassment and abusing the First Amendment. The exact same thing that I have been calling you out on and other creators have been calling you out on. T. Marie, thank you. Hold on, let me see. She needs to put a disclaimer that she's full of drama and lies. Exactly. Literally everything she's saying right now is not true. Like, it's crazy. Like, she is straight up just spewing lies right now. It's insane.
Before we get into this case a little further, I just want to, where is it? Just to make sure that we are very well of what the difference is. So a speech is annoying, alarming, or otherwise meets the test of state statute that defines harassment. You know, there are things that can be done and people can come after you.
Let me have Betty read that one more time.
Disparage other people that are on YouTube, period.
I'm going to have Betty read that one more time, folks.
So I just want to make sure that disclaimer is made on this channel. This is going to be a drama-free zone. As many of you know,
that one doesn't
have
count because
tried
she
our
already
hardest
said it. We already
to
heard
make this a drama-free zone.
No, you haven't.
So with that being
You've
said,
done the opposite.
You know, there is a difference between First Amendment and harassment. And I want to make sure that that's clear for the audience here.
Oh, it's clear.
Before we get into this case a little further, I just want to, where is it?
This is the most delusional
just to make sure
person I've
that
ever
we are
seen.
very well of what the difference is. So a speech is annoying, alarming, or otherwise meets the test of state statute that defines harassment. You know, there are things that can be done.
You mean
and people can come.
You mean exactly what you were doing in Tennessee, in Rogersville? You mean exactly what you were doing in front of the Laundries? Is that what you mean? Like, because basically she's already reading something right there that's has nothing to do with the law that was presented, that she absolutely inspired with her direct actions. So, so I think that's like, I just think it's adorable, dude. I think it's adorable that she's doing us such a solid by reading something that already existed before that defines the difference between harassment and free speech. And she did exactly what that thing says a bunch of times and filmed it and posted it.
I'm after you. So we want to make sure that you guys are healthy and, you know, that you guys don't get in any trouble for conduct that you may be doing. Not that I believe anybody in this chat does this.
Well, because you're the one doing it. And JLR is also doing it. So, I mean, you know, but since these people follow you, I'd say it's more safe to assume that that behavior is being engaged in by at least somebody in that chat. I'm not saying the whole chat, of course not. But I am absolutely saying that it is likely that somebody follows her example in her chat. It's just responsible to come to that. It's just responsible to theorize that.
But we do want to give the disclaimer that there is a difference between First Amendment rights to freedom of speech and harassment, cyberbullying, and things that are, you know, that are criminal.
So, cyberbullying, huh? Wow, it's really interesting. Cyberbullying, because you like real life bully is what you do. You real life people. You fuck with their lives. Like, you're the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. Like, I mean, besides Molly Golightly, I mean, I feel like they're both like that, you know, they made such a good piece of shit team. You know what I mean? Like, the two of them just like had this great, you know, I bring this shittiness to the table and you'll bring that shittiness to the table. That's the dynamic they seem to have. But they're equally shitty. They're equally shitty. Like, and JLR too. He's just as shitty. All right, chat. All right. Bullhorn Betty, Molly Golightly, Critical K. You got to fuck one, marry one, kill one, go. I want everyone to participate in this. Or you could just not. I don't care.
Criminal or hold stiff civil penalties to. So we want to make sure that we do not engage in this kind of conduct. So I'm a First Amendment advocate as well. But I also, as many of you know, I'm a person of law and order. So we want to follow the law. And that's what we do here. We want to be adamant about following all laws. So with that being said, I'm not going to go into any more related to that. Just we want to make sure that everybody is doing well and in a safe spot, and do not engage in, harassment, cyberbullying, cyber stalking, or doxing of anyone, whether you agree with them or do not agree with them. What we do advocate for is if you don't like content, don't watch it. That's plain and simple. Don't respond to it, right?
Oh, see, we hate your content. We hate your content. But the reason why we hate it is because what you're doing is potentially dangerous. So we call you out on it. Like, we have to keep tabs on your content, unfortunately. Again, said before, I'll say it again. Blessed are the clip channels, so that I don't have to just sit here and fucking listen, which I did with this video. I listened to some of this stuff earlier. Yeah, and Cherry is sharing a GoFundMe. I normally don't like GoFundMes, but I think that, this little boy, he deserves a proper burial. And I guess they're struggling. And considering the circumstances that this woman's kid's father is no longer with us through no fault of his own. This is something that, it's definitely not her fault, and it's definitely not Mason's fault. So I think, if you want to, if you don't feel comfortable donating, don't. But it's there in case you feel like it's a nice thing to do. But if you're against it, I understand that too. That's fine. You don't have to, because you guys know how I usually feel about GoFundMes. But I had Cherry look into it pretty thoroughly, and it is legit. And so the option is there. And I'll even hold on. All right. So Cherry's comment with that information for that GoFundMe is it's pinned. So right. Good point. I'm glad you brought that up, Sassfras Calf. Is she actually going to talk about this poor baby, or just stand on a soapbox boasting herself? Oh, wait. Now I remember how this ends. Yeah, she does not. She does not seem to do any research. She talks about how she's covering a case, right? And her big moment was sarcastically saying, let's give this guy a cash app because he's innocent until proven guilty, right? I mean, which made no sense, because it wasn't even relatable to the Don Wells situation. Not even in the slightest bit.
So we're off of that subject. We're moving on. Again, no personal comments, no legal comments, and no harassment or saying ill things about other YouTubers on this channel. So that's the disclaimer. That's what's going to be the standard for the Bullhorn Betty channel moving forward, which it has been for several months. Many of you know that we did kind of get into when we first started coming out with this channel. We did kind of engage in drama type of stuff. That is no more. That hasn't been anymore since December of last year. And we will not engage in that moving forward. We keep it real. We keep it to the topics, and we want everybody to have an enjoyable experience on this channel. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And it's not, I agree with you, Mike. And it's not for somebody to tell you what you can and can't do. And I'm an advocate for that too. I have never told anybody you can't come over to this channel if you watch that channel. I have to say, my mother, she watches channels she doesn't agree with. And, you know, sometimes I have to say, Mom, quit watching.
I mean, does anybody get, you know what I'm saying? Like, hear me out here. Because I'm not, whatever your living situation is, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not gonna demean somebody because they might live with their mom. You know what I mean? That's not, you know, I'll never do that. But does anybody get a weird, creepy, like kind of a Norman Bates kind of vibe? Oh, thank you, Spivey. I appreciate that for the cash app. Like she's, you know, but it's a different kind of dynamic. Maybe the Norman Bates is a bad example, but a different kind of dynamic where it's a really unhealthy relationship where there's a lot of enabling going on. Like there's a lot of, like, you know, manipulation going on from Betty and her mom just being like, oh, you know, somebody's got to take care of me when I get old. You know what I mean? Yeah, she's gonna be. Can you imagine what's going to happen? Like, we're talking about a person who is a proven abusive person. It's proven that she is clearly a very violent and an abusive person, right? And what's going to happen when it's her that has to take care of her mom? When her mom becomes all of this, someone who's never raised a child, but she's going to have to, like, probably clean feces and vomit and, you know, change diapers and you know, nurse bed sores. And I mean, dude, like, I'm not even laughing here. I'm not even laughing. Like, this is something that I hadn't even thought of until just now. And now I'm like, that's scary. That's a scary thought, dude. Somebody now, I wouldn't feel as worried about it if she actually had taken some responsibility for her 42 offenses. But she doesn't. You know, she goes into this thing on this about domestic violence. And I want to
facts and keep to the relevant topics. And quite frankly, sometimes we bring up topics.
God, shut the fuck up. I'm going to see if I could find it, but I don't have a timestamp on it.
It was can actually do. Good morning,
Todd. Honestly, and I know it.
Like,
and I can't.
She doesn't talk about cases. She talks about talking about cases. We're going to be doing this, and we're going to be doing this one. And there's this guy from this place who was a serial killer, and we're going to be talking about him. And then she never actually gets around to not talking about, or to actually talking about these things. She doesn't bring up any facts. She doesn't go down a timeline. She does nothing. She does nothing except talk awful shit and spread lies. That's all she does.
To see her case. So moving on this morning, seeing murders, you know, of adults. And then Summer Wells kind of took over. And then we started seeing this cycle.
All right. This is it,
abuse.
I think.
Thank you, Anissa. Cycle of abuse. With these children, these young children under the age of 5. That is true. That is
Maxie,
true.
come on, man.
That is true. But you know what? I'm
Hey,
still going to be
brother,
a smart aleck
dude.
about it because, you know, there are so many sympathizers out there that, you know,
did I already
if I would have did a fact-finding mission, if this child was
okay, we already went
for
over that.
Beautiful boy,
Hold on.
we have not fed into it, the world for that matter. So whenever I do go out, 2001, and there was a case, women getting with the wrong kind of group.
Here we go.
Of this next case that we're going to be discussing is not a parent. He was the boyfriend, you know, and this comes into, you know, women getting with the wrong kind of men, abusive men. And it sounds like this guy here, his name was Brandon. He apparently kidnapped.
Okay, so so we're talking about somebody who has a 42 offense rap sheet, and most of them are domestic violence claims. The majority of them are domestic violence offenses against her. Okay.
And held hostage this boy's mother, Mason. So
she's talking about women getting with the wrong guy. Okay. Very, very interesting here.
Like, it's really bad. It's really bad out there. So we want to honor Mason.
We know there's people like you.
Before we get,
we're looking at a perfect example of how bad it is out there. Like that ese cara mala ahí mismo is example of how bad it is out there.
Started on going. Oh, hey, Sasha. Hopefully, Jackie. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So we are going to be going over Mason's case. We're also going to be discussing a little more about, you know, a lot of this stuff dovetails together, you know, with Harmony, Summer, Serenity, which many of you guys know. Serenity was found. It was a sad situation.
Top notch.
And of course, you know,
top notch covering right there, guys. Top notch. There was a sad thing, right? Is that what I'm supposed to say? It was sad. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. It was sad. Wow.
My sarcasm with this case, right? My sarcasm with this case, because we've got sympathizers out there that, you know, these people are innocent until proven guilty, right? Well, this guy's locked up. So, you know, maybe you guys should go fill up his Cash App, right? That's my sarcasm, right? I don't get it. So it's like, I get so.
Dude. She has the personality of a doorstop. Like, it's ridiculous. This is
so tired.
That's her attempt at humor.
Different.
That was her attempt at humor. Like, she was building up to it. You know, she rehearsed that bullshit in the mirror. You know, she did. Sympathizers. It's I mean, it's probably the right word. I don't know.
Down on the mother, but seeing the facts of the case where the mother was actually held hostage, you know, God knows what she saw. Did she actually see him kill her son? I mean, the horrific things that woman went through. But this also comes back to our conversations about domestic abuse. You know, it's a psychological thing for women, you know, to constantly be attracted to those type of men. It's not just one. So it's.
So what she does here is really interesting, guys. You're gonna see her attempt at manipulation too. It's a sad attempt, but you're gonna see it. You know, it's kind of like nice try. You know, an E for effort.
It's really quite alarming. But before we get into that, I was in South Carolina, as many of you guys know, and we were following the Todd Kohlhepp
So why did she
case. He is a serial killer that was convicted in 2006. And so I believe they had almost 700,000 viewers. Actually, I would say at this, they just weren't. And morning C12. I hope everything is at his, and it's been said.
The Hunt Club. All right, I've had enough of this lady. So at some point, she goes into, because I mean, I couldn't pinpoint where it was, because she talks about domestic violence, then she talks about the serial killer, then she talks about Mason, and then she talks about domestic violence again, and she's all over the fucking place. So, but at one point, she talks about how that these abusive men, what they do is they keep you in fear of wanting to leave. That's what they do. These domestic violence offenders, Betty, will convince that person that something might happen to them if they leave. I mean, you know, like, there's literally a police report where you said you know people and threatened to not only have this dude that you had already beat up chopped up on the side of the road, you threatened that, and then you threatened the cop who was who was your arresting officer and had to write the report. So yeah. So to me, I mean, that was a very, very rich live coming from her, considering that it was like 90% bullshit. And it was like the opposite. It was her basically having absolutely no self-awareness and just putting on a show of a lack of self-awareness. What's going on in chat right now? Who is Vince? I'm not seeing a Vince in the chat. I mean, dude, my channel is open. Okay? My channel, like, anytime any of these people that I talk about, I would love to have JLR on this channel. Oh my God, I would love it. Like, it would just make me so happy. Yeah, like, I can't believe somebody who could, like, and I could see somebody who was like actually a domestic violence offender, like especially as bad as her, and then was like, you know what, like, I found God or whatever, doesn't even have to be religion, but I had an epiphany where I realized that I had a fucking problem, because obviously the numbers don't lie. There's clearly a pattern of behavior here that I am engaged in, and I have to do something to fix it. I have to do something, and I'm going to advocate for domestic violence victims. I'm going to take accountability. I'm going to apply the behavior that I'm gonna apply my knowledge of my own behavior after I do a lot of self-reflecting and start taking accountability for the way I treated people that I told them that I loved. And if she actually did that and became an advocate, that might be very powerful. But when you're doing what she's doing, okay, this is what's really important to understand, guys. When you're claiming to be an advocate for domestic violence victims, right? But you have a record of so many domestic violence offenses, and you don't take any accountability for that. What you're doing is the opposite of advocating for a victim. You're insulting all domestic violence victims. Anyone. For you to sit here and team up with a guy who praises people who shot and murdered children, and you prance around this guy all over the country. I mean, and then you're gonna say that you're an advocate for children. That makes no sense. And then you're gonna say that you're an advocate, for children, and you're teamed up with a guy that that tried to say that Susan Smith was innocent and tried to get clout by trying to get her freed from prison, get her pardoned. I mean, it makes no sense. Like, it's really, really shitty of you. Like, it's one of the shittiest things that you can do. Like, you have that, and then you have Molly Golightly. I'm not going to talk too much about the princess thing because, that's something that I'm aware of, and I find it fucking disgusting. Burnt Toast made a lot of really, really good points on it, and it was really, really infuriating to see that. But my focus is when they, I'm going to try as best as I can to keep my focus on people who spread misinformation on cases. But when you're comparing, you remember earlier I was saying that they're both just as shitty. This is somebody who claims to be an advocate for victims and does the worst possible, shit as far as behavior goes. And then you and then you have Molly Golightly, who has her best friend living with her and is enabling him and using him for content, talking about how it's all about her and how she's the one that should be going through it and how she's stressed out and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, her friend just keeps getting admitted into the hospital. Someone that her son is probably the closest to in that house. And you won't admit him into a facility if his life is in danger, because his life is in danger. You won't do whatever you can for your son to not lose this person in his life and admit him into a facility, because what I'm getting out of that is, based on her behavior, I don't think it's unfair to theorize that she's waiting for him to pass so that she can play victim on that too and milk the hell out of that. I mean, for them to sit up there and accuse the guy of being dramatic when he's literally dying right now. That's what's happening. Thank you, Amy, for that comment. Yeah, that's... I mean, he's in a house where everyone resents him and his life is on the line. Is that a healthy environment? He's literally in a house dependent on people who resent him. And his life is hanging on a thread right now. Like, these people, man, I just can't. I look at this and I'm like, how? And I've grown to actually just feel sorry enough for Princess that I like the dude. You know, like I have no problem with the guy. He doesn't go on YouTube and start trash talking victims and their families. Maybe he has, I don't know. But it doesn't seem to be what he's focused on now. And when he goes live, he asks for money. Dude, Mr. Nut, dude, come on, bro. Thank you. But fuck, man. And yes, everything is well. And it's always better when you're here, dude. And not because of the super chat. Just because you're really, really insightful. Yeah, like that is and how do we know about this? Because she puts it out on the internet, dude. Now supposedly word through the grapevine is that Mr. Adrian has told her that they plan on taking some legal action against me. I'd like to see them try. Like I'd like to see them try, because you don't have a case. I'm literally not doing anything illegal. I'm simply stating my opinions on shit that you do. And fair use, again, fair use means that I can be critical. I can criticize. And that is exactly what I'm doing, is I'm criticizing you. And I'm going to continue to criticize you as long as you continue to do these shitty things. I haven't lied once. All I've done is shown your content and commented on it, gave criticism as to how I feel about it. That's what I've done. And I'm going to continue to do it as long as you continue to do fucked up shit. So yeah, we probably could, for sure. I don't see an attorney that would actually try to take that to a judge. You know, I just don't see that happening. I'll tell you though, I'd love to have been a fly on the wall when this idiot Bullhorn Betty dragged Crude AF into court. I'd love to be a fly on the wall in that courtroom. Maybe, you know, I mean, I'm not a mental health professional, so I just diagnose them all with being assholes. So, you know, that's what it boils down to in my professional opinion. I wonder if my colleagues would concur. Borderline Betty. It's funny. I mean, how fucking dumb can you be, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, how fucking stupid are you to think that you can actually sue somebody over this stuff? You can if you're saying really fucked up shit that's like, because slander, defamation, those things, first of all, from what I understand, from what I've heard attorneys on YouTube say, that it's really difficult to prove in the first place. It's really difficult. So even if it happened, you know what I mean? They'd still have a hard time. But see, I don't lie about people. I just don't do that. It's simple. Right. And Dr. Glairer's office, the diagnosis is asshole. And my prescription is a big fat dose of self-awareness. Crazy nurse, that's scary. I'm a nurse and it takes an evaluation, but batshit crazy isn't a diagnosis. It is by Dr. Glairer. It is called guanosis. Okay, look it up in the Urban Dictionary because I put it in there myself. Guanosis is a thing because I made it up. That is batshit crazy. It's a thing. It's a thing now. Guanosis is absolutely a thing. Yeah, I mean, they're all just a bunch of clueless assholes, dude. Oh, okay. See? See? Always, yeah. Even crazy nurse concurs with me, bro. I mean, but I don't even think they're even like I think Betty just ignored her. Like I think that Betty honestly is actually genuinely trying to have a legit channel. She thinks that, I mean, that's what she's, you know, she believes that she's not engaged in drama. She believes that shit. She believes that she doesn't create the drama. She believes everything that she's saying. I truly believe that myself. So I don't think that she's actually like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think she's scamming anyone. She's scamming herself from reality, is what she's doing. MGL, on the other hand, knows exactly what she's doing. She's a total scam artist. She absolutely knows exactly how to milk her chat. It's totally true. But she honestly, she at least understands that drama is bad for a channel if you want it to be taken seriously. She does understand that. But what she doesn't understand is that what she does is fucked up. And it's exactly what's keeping her from being a legit channel. Like if she put a little more effort into covering a case, like just pick one case at a time and talk about it, you know, but she's completely disorganized. And the most profound thing that she had to say about Serenity was, it was sad. You know what I mean? Like, this is not a profound individual. This is someone who has serious insecurity issues, deludes herself, and then when she's faced with these insecurity issues in some way, shape, or form, she will get violent. Because there is an extensive police record that proves that. So, yeah, like I've been in a relationship like that where I'm just like, dude, where I break it down and I'm like, this is why you're wrong. Didn't you just say this and now you're saying this, right? And then when faced with realizing that you are just being a crazy asshole and abusive, what do? You get violent, you get physical. Tommy Hortons, what's up, dude? Because you can't bear to face that you were deluding yourself. You can't bear to face it. I've been in that shit, and that's exactly how it is. It's exactly how it is. So, I mean, this is why she's never going to do this. This is why she's never going to be a legit channel. You know? Yeah, Cherry, it does suck. This is someone who is so delusional. This was someone who is so delusional that she was arrested that many times for domestic violence because she believed she was in the right. She believes everything that she's doing is legit and merits respect. She honestly fucking thinks this shit. No matter how many of us go on YouTube and break down why it's absolute bullshit, no matter how many clip channels show her saying something, shout out to Heels in the Air and Hugh Janus, they will show her saying something on her channel, and then they'll show her saying the exact opposite or doing exactly what she's speaking against doing. Or documentation that it happened and she did it. So just straight receipts, sometimes as golden as video footage. Most of the time, as a matter of fact. Most of the time. Yeah, the clip channels are great. So, I mean, like, if she hasn't gotten it by now, because she watches these, she watches them. She may not sit through my shit, but she watches those clip channels when they're like, those videos are like 2 or 3 minutes long. She watches that shit. And then what does she do? She'll go, that's harassment. That's cyberbullying on me. Dude, you know how many videos fucking BX bitch boy has made about me? You hear me crying about it? Who cares? Who cares? You don't hear me fucking crying and whining about every fucking video somebody makes about me. There's idiots out there making videos about me all the time. See me up here whining, crying, cyberbullying. And they're the ones lying. They're the ones telling lies. I don't fucking whine about it. You know? Like, it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, man. You know, people aren't going to like you, and then they're going to do shit. You know? Like, have a backbone. Seriously. Why should that get in the way of your content? And I don't want it to get in the way of your content. I want you to just keep on doing this bullshit that you're doing because I know you're not going to stop. And I'm going to keep calling you out on it. And God knows who else is about to. I don't know. I'm not. I've never been part of that community. I'm starting to find some channels and like them. I love Mrs. Parker. I think she's great. She's lately I've been really digging her channel. She's super fun. So I mean, but who knows the can of worms she opened up with that community? Because burnt toast is she's coming. she's just getting started. She's just getting started. Yo, Tommy Hortons is also he's a mod and a good friend of Josh from the Dad Challenge podcast. And Josh, I shared it in community, guys. Please take a moment, if you haven't already, to click on that video and watch it. Josh put a lot of work into this video, and it's a really, really important video. See, that's the kind of work that Bullhorn Betty thinks that she's doing, but is not. And that's the reason why Josh is almost at 100,000 subscribers, because he puts real effort into these videos, and he creates awareness, and he genuinely advocates for kids. So, so please go and go to my community. I have it. I posted it, and watch and like that video, please, guys. Because there's stuff going on YouTube that really, really needs to be addressed. It's really bad. Like there's stuff on YouTube Kids that is crazy. And if you guys are parents in the chat, you need to be aware of it. You have to be aware of it. Yeah. Josh is me, regardless, Tommy Hortons, he is literally about 90,000 times the creator that Bullhorn Betty is, just so you know. Dude, man, there's bad shit going on, dude. And Josh really shined a light on it. The video is really well done. I mean, you're never gonna do that. You know what I mean? The only thing you can ever really do, I mean, take away the scare of a dox. I mean, people are always going to get doxxed, man. Like there's always going to be low life assholes who feel the need to do this shit because they've got nowhere else to go with they've got no wit to match. They have no argument for what they're talking about. So, there's always going to be those people who stoop low and dox, always, no matter what, but what we can always do is when somebody ends up doxing somebody, we call them out on it and we discredit them. I mean, and it only does so much. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, Critical K did end up losing her channel. But I mean, I went over a PDF file that had every shitty thing that Critical K did with receipts. I'm talking text threads, all kinds of shit. And it barely made a dent. You know, she had such a hold over her following that they didn't care that she had done all these things. I don't feel bad for her at all. Because, dude, she could be like, there's no escape from accountability. There's just not. Like, she is a grown woman. She knows the difference between right and wrong. She has an issue where she ends up doing the wrong thing and justifying it in her mind in a delusional manner. That's what she seems to do consistently. That's what she seems to do absolutely and totally consistently. And it's a pattern. It's a clear pattern. Doesn't take a doctor to make this observation. But she can take accountability by looking at the results. She can go back and look at her own videos and be like, I'm doing this and I'm saying this. And then I go and I do something like this. I need help. I need help. I know her type. I'm telling you, I know her type. And that type of person will never, ever, ever admit to themselves that they need help. Ever. They're always going to have this complex where what they're doing is great God's work, and they're just doing everything. They've got this weird delusion of grandeur that they're doing something so important that it demands everyone's respect. But she'll never do it. I know her type. I was practically married to it. You could put her in a psych eval ward for observation for 72 hours, mandatory, and she will say everything that needs to be said to not be kept there. Whatever it takes to get out. They know what the doctors are looking for, which means they're aware of their own behavior because they can turn it off and say exactly what they need to in order to benefit themselves. They can absolutely do that. Dude, it's bad. The homies, it's bad. Like, that's JLR right there too. But JLR, it doesn't matter. Like, his actions are so fucking crazy that, like, he was boasting. He was boasting about his fucking diagnosis. No, she doesn't care who she hurts because she doesn't believe that she's hurting anyone. That's the issue. That's the problem we're having. She will absolutely do something awful and then somehow justify it in her mind so that she doesn't have to take accountability for it. Like, take Don Wells, for instance. So let's look at the action of her getting Don Wells fired from his job. What's up, Panda Lady? Let's look at Don Wells getting fired from his job because of her actions, right? Her screaming through a bullhorn saying, you should fire him then. Fire him. Fire Don Wells, right? And as a result, he gets fired from his job, both him and Candace, right? But what does she do to justify it? What she does to justify it is convince herself that Don Wells had something to do with Summer Wells' disappearance. When, in fact, there is no evidence that we are aware of, maybe law enforcement does, but no evidence that we're aware of that indicates that Don Wells did this or had anything to do with it or even knew about it. There's absolutely no evidence. In fact, as I said many times, there's evidence to the contrary. Like, you take what we know to a court of law and try to convict with that, the jury's going to fall in love with this guy. They're just going to feel bad for him and get him the hell out of there and back home as quick as possible. That's exactly what would happen. Yeah, like, yeah. This is what we're talking about. This is the kind of delusion that we're talking about. And so what she's doing now, because that's why this is what they always do. These type of people always fall down to being a victim. When they're cornered with reality and fact that they cannot escape from, they cannot deny or escape from, then they're being attacked. Why are you attacking me? Why are you doing this to me? Don't you have anything better to do than to hurt me and do these horrible things, as she calls them, what we're doing right here? Like, are you fucking serious? Now, again, people, I am not a mental health professional in any way, shape, or form. I don't know how you diagnose that. I don't know anything about that. All I'm saying is I'm giving you a detailed observation of what I see her, a detailed observation of her behavior. All I'm doing is describing what I'm seeing. I mean, I don't know, if Marissa had to take a pee test and if it's not a normal visit from CPS. I mean, I don't know, I mean, I feel like a CPS worker, all they would have to do is just watch a few hours of her streams. You know what I mean? But I don't know what a CPS worker does. You know what I mean? But I don't think that that's the case necessarily. I think that, what CPS does is the last thing they want to do is separate a family. So unless they have something solid where they've come to the conclusion that the child is in danger, they're not going to remove the child. You know what I mean? And we're not seeing any of that. We're just seeing a really shitty person, I haven't seen her abuse her child. I haven't seen her neglect her child necessarily. I mean, if she has a nanny, she has a nanny. You know what I mean? I mean, she's home. The kid's pretty self-sufficient. He's 15, right? So, when I was 15, I was perfectly capable of going out and coming back in and on my own. I mean, I had a curfew. Not that I fucking followed it, but I had a curfew. I was able to cook for myself. I was able to do everything for myself by then, for the most part, except earn a living. So, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and peg her to be a child abuser. That's fucking ridiculous, So anybody who called CPS on her is a piece of shit. Sorry, that's not okay at all. But I mean, yeah, I just don't see, I don't see how that does any good at all. Calling CPS when you don't have enough information. Yeah, Seymour, I Seymour ignorance. I was able to cook for myself at age 7. Yeah, that's when I started cooking for myself. I started with eggs. And I would experiment a lot. I would like throw food coloring in the eggs and shit. I had a curfew. I just didn't fucking, I was a shitty kid. Like, My whole thing was like my brother could come and go as he pleased, and I couldn't. But I didn't understand the fact that my brother was also getting perfect grades in school. You know, he met all of his responsibilities. He had a good head on his shoulders. Me, I, you know, I didn't like school. I didn't participate in school any more than I absolutely had to. And even then, you know, like I said, I had teachers that would pass me just so I wouldn't have to be in their class for another year, you know, because I just didn't want to do the work and I wanted to be the class clown and I wanted to fucking, you know, just be, you know, a loudmouth. I've been trolling since I was able to walk. You know, so, you know, like, and I was definitely more likely to engage in poor activity when I was out. And as a matter of fact, I did. So they were right. So that's why they wanted me to have a curfew, you know, but just didn't work out that way. It was actually pretty bad for a while there. Cherry, you did not. Oh my God. We're going to talk. We're going to talk. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm grateful that she doesn't have kids, man. Somebody like that. And it turns out bad for the kids. I'm telling you right now. I know this for a fact. I know this for a fact. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Just got to bring something to your attention. That's all. Yeah, I mean, she's fucking worst, dude. She's the worst. Like both of these people. Now, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have any evidence that Molly Golightly is a bad mother. You know, I mean, maybe. You know what I mean? I don't know, but definitely no evidence that she's abusive. You know what I mean? I think she's an abusive person generally because we see her abuse people all the time. What she's doing to Princess is absolutely abuse, in my opinion. It's absolutely abuse. Like, I mean, maybe it's best, you know, but that Princess had such a impact on that kid. So, you know what I mean? Maybe that was best, you know, because like I said, we see that she's an absolutely abusive person, you know, like she treats everyone, at least the adults that we see her around, she has at some point treated them like absolute and total shit. I'm talking people in her chat to the people in her house, you know. Now her husband, I don't know. But like Princess for sure. Like she puts all of his personal business out there. Like she averages like 1,000 people in her chat on a live stream. And like I hear so many things whenever I listen to her about this dude that I don't want to know. I don't need to know. I'm like, why is she putting that shit out there for everybody? So when you're putting out somebody's personal business and he's dependent on you to live there, he's not going to be in a position to where he feels comfortable speaking up and saying, hey, don't fucking do that shit. So she's taking advantage of the fact that this dude lives there, is completely dependent on her and her husband, And they, in exchange, she gets to exploit him for content and put his whole fucking life on blast. And then it's surprising that he's an alcoholic. Can you imagine having to bury that shit every day? Every day you got to bury that shit. Like, fuck, I got to live here. I need these people. And I've developed a relationship with this kid. I don't want to be kicked out. I don't want to have, like that, I'm sorry, is fucking abusive. It's absolutely abusive. It's repeatedly abusive. And it's killing him. It's literally fucking killing him. Why? Who's not going to fucking drink when they're being treated like that every day, all day? Who's not going to fucking drink to run from that? Or to stomach it, to deal with it? I mean, I don't know what they think they're going to sue me for. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, maybe they're going to try to sue me for the bicycle they think I have. But surprise, I don't have one. What do you think you're going to get? Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know anybody else. I don't know anybody else who's had any type of even recreationally, use of narcotics, even recreational drug or alcohol or narcotics. Like, if you've ever done this stuff and you're in that position, now, is it his own fault for being in that position? Yeah. He's a grown up. You know what I mean? He's absolutely a grown up. But it's now to a point. I mean, she's going to take the dude's phone. Like, dude, if he wasn't an alcoholic and if alcohol wasn't literally killing the guy right now, I'd be donating to his Cash App. I would be fucking blasting his Cash App in this chat and have everybody fucking donate. But the problem is he's going to drink with it because he's an alcoholic, and it's literally what's killing him right now. So no, I won't ever contribute to that. But exactly. We have no idea. Trauma is a fucker, man. Trauma is absolutely a fucker. And we don't know. I mean, I would be traumatized if I lived with this woman doing what she does day in and day out. And the only thing I would be afraid of is doing the wrong thing and not having a place to live anymore that I'm now dependent on having. I would be scared out of my mind all the time. And she knows this because she treats him more poorly than anybody who's on her panel, anybody who's she just uses him as a whipping post for content. Wow. Congratulations on that, by the way. Congratulations on that. 16 years, man. That's nothing to shake a stick at, man. That is some tough shit. You are a badass. All new added respect to Hugh Janus. All right, I'm starving. Get something to eat, y'all. Got some wings in the oven right now. I'm gonna eat those bad boys. Thank you guys so much. I was supposed to eat as soon as I came out of the gym, but the wings took too long to cook, and I had this live set, and so, you know, but anyways, guys, I love you very much, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.